Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you again with another weekly episode, and I got some stuff to show you per usual. Alright, so kind of a weird week, I guess. We've got a smattering of items here. So I guess let's just start with this guy. So I posted this to my Instagram page. Shout out to Bearded Mug Media. At Bearded Mug Media on Instagram. He is one of my fellow Lamley writing colleagues and super cool guy. And he ordered a bunch of these selection cars. I passed on this for whatever reason. And once I started seeing people, post them, I'm like, man, that looks really good. I really want one for myself. And I didn't order one, but he hooked me up at cost, so that's fantastic. Thank you very much again for that. I really do appreciate it. So we are going to open up this 41 Willys Gasser in the next segment, this Wild Blue Selections release. It just looks really cool. I wanted an example of this casting. The one I really wanted was that, I think it was a convention piece, the Blood one or whatever. I forget what it was called, Bloodshot, I think. So I wanted that one, and I still might try to go after that one. I passed on the orange one when it originally came out, so I just haven't had any of them. So now I've got an example, and that's cool to me. Another highlight would be some Autoworld here. Fifth in the Racing Legends series from One Stop Diecast. I've been talking about them, for a while now. 4 cars or 4 releases. This is the 5th in the ultimately, which is going to be a 12 truck series. And this is it right here. Very, very cool. This is the Fightin' Irish, and that's pretty awesome. I mentioned that I was Dutch in the last episode. I'm also Irish. I'm pretty much like a 50-50 Dutch-Irish. Okay? Weird. Is that a weird combo? Probably not. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just a dude. But yeah, so Dutch and Irish, that's my heritage, my grandparents' heritage. So really, really cool. This one's a really neat one in the series. I can't say enough good stuff about this series of Autoworld exclusives. I definitely put this series up as one of my favorites that any hobby dealer has done so far. And they're gracious enough to have sent me one of these. So they've been sending them as they've come out. So for me to showcase, and that's pretty awesome. So thank you again for the support for my channel, and no problem supporting you guys in this release, because it's just, these things are fantastic. I really am enjoying them. All right, next Autoworld, picked up this guy from the good old Evil Bay. Got a decent deal on it, I think. I don't know. The reason why I kind of went out for this one is because I really inspected, or tried to, at least from the pictures, the white lines in the tires to make sure I got actual circles and not some weird oblong shape. So this one looks pretty good, so I'm happy with it. I'm glad to add this now to the collection. Now the only one that I'm missing is the 63 Chevy 2 Nova 400 wagon Ultra Red from 2021 release 2, and then I will have this series completed. We will open up this in the next half of the video. All right, so that was cool. I found this weird thing at a Meyer and just decided to pick them up. This Formula E Gen 2 car. I don't know much about Formula E, but I mean, right, it's electronic or whatever. Yeah, EVs, electronic vehicles or whatever. It's not, they don't use gas, right? Is that what it is, right? So, I don't know if this is modeled after a real car that exists or not. Someone will let me know, the Formula E Gen 2 car, or if it's just a concept at this point. I'm not really sure. I'm not that up to date on motorsports. I should, get a little bit more into it. But yeah, Formula E and Formula E logo are registered trademarks. So this is a licensed vehicle. It is majorette, imported by Jada Toys, and this I found at Meyer. It's got some interesting packaging. We'll look at that in the next segment. We'll open it up and all that good stuff. All right, and then on to Mattel product. Finally completed this set of Boulevards. these showed up at my local Walmart again finally, and I was able to actually get these two vehicles. So we got the little Too Short and the Drag Bus. People are just scooping these up, you know, and there was a bunch of them there when I was there, and I just picked up one of each. And then, you know, I told some of my buddies that they were there. By the time they got there, the rest of them were gone. So I didn't think that was going to happen, but it did. And the Boulevard series, man, it's been pretty tough in my area to complete sets. They just seem to be real spotty in stocking them. They're like there one day, they're gone the next, and it's, you know, they're tough. Aside from that first series, maybe first or second, I'm not sure, set of them that they got, like these big shippers of them. Of course, all the desirable ones were gone right away, but there is some lingering castings from that still in the store today. But yeah, these seem to be, any of the newer Boulevard stuff seems to be pretty tough to get at. So I found those when I was happy about that. At the same time, I also found the new Matchbox Moving Parts series. So we got the Monte Carlo, pretty cool. Land Rover, or Range Rover. Land Rover? Range Rover. It's a Range Rover. It says Land Rover on here, but it says Range Rover on the graphic. Chevy C10 pickup, and the Pagani Huayra Roadster. So I'm excited about this one, and the Monte Carlo, of course, as well. So we're going to open up those in the next half. And then the only other thing I found was some mainline Hot Wheels. I suppose the highlight of that was I found Zamacs. So I picked up a bunch of these Honda CRXs and a bunch of these Beetles. I picked up a couple extra of the truck just for some local buddies and stuff like that. And yeah, pretty cool release. We'll open those three. Why not? And got some other mainline cars. I don't think we're going to open all these, but right now, just because I don't really feel like it. But this would have been the Super. Did not find a Super, even though they had definitely not been gone through, so there was no Super there. I did find a couple of the regular treasure hunt, which is this minivan here. My least favorite minivan casting, but I did pick it up, whatever. I picked up the Dodge Rampage. I thought that was a cool casting. I picked up the Camaro and the Skyline. Mercedes-Benz, picked up that guy. That's a new casting. Pontiac GTO, Lancia, the second color of that. Let's see here. Of course, the 993 GT2, one of my favorite Hot Wheels castings. The Mazda Savannah RX-7, and then I did find the ID Chase, which is this Falcon livery 69 Copel Camaro. So I did find this. We will open this up. This is pretty cool. This is actually kind of neat. So this is actually the first ID car that I'm going to open up and keep in my collection. And then that's the regular one. So it's kind of like finding a Super, not really, but pretty cool though to find that. I would have loved to find that Golf Super. I do eventually want to get one of those, and hopefully I'll be able to do that. We'll see. But yeah, so kind of a, you know, array of stuff. We got some Autoworld, we got some Hot Wheels, we got some Matchbox, we got some Major Red even. And yeah, so let's go ahead and flip the camera around. Let's take a look at some of this stuff. Let's open it up and take a peek, and yeah, we'll see how this goes. All right, stay tuned. All right, so let's begin with this weird majorette situation that we got here. So the blister is like a racing helmet, which is kind of a cool idea, but quite a bit of packaging for this little car. And these are like $5 too, and I don't think there's really much premium about them, so maybe not worth it, but it piqued my curiosity just to check it out. It does come with a little collector box, which I'm always a fan of. There's our helmet mold here. And then, of course, the vehicle itself. So let's zoom in on that. Pretty cool. Kind of neat. Are these rubber tires? These are rubber tires. Well, that's a nice thing, I guess. That's a premium feature. I did not know they actually had rubber tires. I feel pretty good too. Plastic base, metal body. The graphics are done well on it. There was a few different ones there. This is the one I picked, which is like kind of an unbranded almost version. It just says Formula E Gen 2 car. The other ones have like whatever the sponsor, the main, or whatever the race team name is. This one doesn't have that. I don't know. It's kind of a neat little add to the collection. It's a unique thing in my collection, so I think it's. I guess I'm glad I picked it up. It's kind of neat. Let me know what you guys think about this. I mean, a lot of you probably aren't going to be into this sort of thing, and I get that, and I'm not 100% like into it either, but I just thought it was interesting enough to pick up one and maybe show it on here. So hopefully you enjoy it as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at Autoworld next. Let's do the Fightin' Irish. This thing is cool. Here's your fast facts. Right there. Go ahead and read that. Sixth. Is that supposed to be sixth? On the successful BB Brothers in sixth. What does that mean? What is sixth? Tim built the Fighting Irish funny car and became a touring pro in 1971. That's a pretty cool car. I don't know if they have this. I don't think... Is this available in the Drag Strip Demons series from Hot Wheels or the Johnny Lightning drag racing series? I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments if you know. So these are limited to 24.96 pieces. I've shown these several times. Not this particular one, but I've shown the other ones in the series several times. Usually I get them all out. I didn't do it for this one. We're just going to look at this Racing Legends, this particular release, number 5. Here's a list of the first 6. This one's the next one, Chi-Town Hustler. That's going to be the next one out. And these are the ones that were out before. And just really, really cool. Let's go ahead and open it up. There are Ultra Reds of these as well. I have one of them. Eventually, I'd like to try to check them all off, but they're going to be tough. Any of these square body hobby releases, the Ultra Reds are, nothing short of a bit of a challenge to try to acquire. So, nice amount of details on this one. I love the fact that the wheels have a green bow tie and a green line around the tires. I think that is a really cool, subtle touch to this one. The color is really nice. It's a metal flake green, and then we've got these blue stripes and stuff across the front that are kind of metallic as well, and it's awesome. I am a huge fan of this release. It's just super cool. Lucky, it says on the back of the license plate. This is just a really cool version of this truck, so it might be my favorite in the series so far. And it's tough because they all look really good. And I definitely would recommend getting them. Again, get them while you can now. I think in the future, these are going to be very, very tough to get a hold of. Just with my experience with other Autoworld releases, these hobby release. And I've said this 100 times as well, but the hobby release ones, they might seem a little expensive at first trying to pick them up, but I would definitely recommend it because I'm just telling you, it's the cheapest you're going to get them is now. These are not going to be like blown out later on. They're going to be tough to find. And that's just the fact of the matter, especially because they're limited to 2,400 pieces. Now, the regular store releases of these Chevy Silverado or Chevy pickup trucks, they make a lot more of those than they do these hobby releases. So those, you should be able to get easily, hopefully down the line, who knows. But these hobby releases are going to be tough later on, guaranteed. All right, really cool. Next is the Ultra Red. I didn't grab the other two out to show you, but I do have the other ones. This is on a version A card. It's an Ultra Red. Let's just open it. So how did we do here? So the wheel looks pretty good on this side. Might have some flashing on the rim, actually. If I pull this tire off, I might be able to get it to look a little bit better. The other side, we did okay too. Except for that one right there, but not terrible. So if you're not familiar with this, the traits of these Ultra Reds, they're going to have white interiors, they're going to have an Ultra Red body, and then they are also going to have a white engine. And that's the traits on those. So a pretty cool looking red. It's a nice looking red. The hood on all of these Eldorados they have a little bit of gap to the shut that you can kind of see. But I still really like this casting. I am a fan of it. This might be my favorite Cadillac casting that they've come out with so far, is this one. Just a cool car, so really awesome. All right, so next, what are we looking at next? Let's look at the Gasser. So this thing looks beautiful. And when I saw it, I'm like, God, I gotta get an example of this wild blue Gasser. It's really, really cool. There's one thing I really like to collect from Hot Wheels, get in the hype. I'm not a huge JDM guy, but I do collect some of the JDM stuff, right? I like the 240Z and some other stuff. But I'm really into the drag cars that lately that Hot Wheels has done, Johnny Lightning, any other brand that puts out like this kind of vintage, call it vintage racing is what it is, right? Because it's a vintage vehicle, it's drag racing. We'll just call it vintage racing, whether it's drag racing or stock car or whatever. I just like the old school style of like the graphics, the livery, the cars themselves. Everything about that is just way cooler than the new stuff to me. So that's what I think. These are not numbered. This was the 2020 selections winner. Okay. So if you're not familiar with the selection series, it's basically if you're an RLC member, you get to vote. They have a tournament. They vote on the casting, then they vote on the color and some other stuff. So wheels, I think, sometimes too, but it's kind of a cool idea. But I passed on this one, and one of the tough things to swallow when you order these is you're pre-ordering them and then you do not get them for about a year after you order them. Sometimes a little bit more. And that can be a turn off to some people, and I get that because you don't want to wait. But the nice thing about the selection series is if you're an RLC member and you want the car, you're guaranteed to get it because you can order as many as you want because they are made to order. So this thing is beautiful. There are some really cool details to it, especially the coloring in the exhaust. How it fades from like a blue to a purple. Lots of detail on that engine, and man, it just looks really cool. So I am stoked that I got this one. So thanks again, Brian. I really do appreciate it. Go check out Bearded Mug Media. Check out his articles on Lamley, as well as check him out on Instagram. So let's go ahead and shut this and hope that there we go, shuts good, and it does. Yeah, I'm happy I got this one. So I am actually quite stoked that I ended up with this in my collection. I don't know why I didn't get one when they were out. Just wasn't that into it, I guess. I don't know. I knew eventually I wanted one example of this casting, and I got it. I think I want the Bloodshot now, too. I think I'm going to have to just try to find it. All right, sticking with Gassers for a moment, we'll take a look at the little Too Short. Pretty cool. I wonder if that's a homage to the rapper or hip-hop artist. Altered by Pee-wee. And so Boulevard release. These are the other cars in the set. The Subaru was actually easy to find. The rest of these were easy to find. These were not. And I'm surprised. I thought the Subaru would be really tough to get. I love this casting. This casting's fantastic. This dates back to the original Drag Strip Demons release from Hot Wheels. And undoubtedly a popular one. Really, really cool. Good wheel choice. Good color for the wheel choice. The gray looks great. Purple, yellow. Nothing to complain about on this one. These are the Boulevard premium release, so they do have a full deco, just headlights up front. Some taillights in the back, and then of course the graphics all around, and I think it looks quite good. So really cool. And then the next one is the drag bus with Moon Eyes livery. And I didn't get out the other Moon Eyes livery VWs. They came out with a panel already, the cool combi, and now the drag bus in Moon Eyes. I like the drag bus. Originally when I first started collecting Hot Wheels, it seemed like the drag bus was just like the number one most desired casting. Was drag buses. And it's a cool casting. It opens and stuff, and this looks really good. This is plastic on this casting. There are versions of it with metal, I think a metal engine. So it opens up, metal body, metal base, full deco, all that good stuff. It's a large casting. It's kind of hard to display and stuff like that. And I'm not super into having a bunch of these. I think I have one other one in my collection. I think I got rid of the other ones that I had, and I kept one. And then now this would be the second one in my collection. And I think that's all. That's all I'm going for on the drag bus. Unless it comes up with Boulevard or it comes in a series, that I collect, like Car Culture or Boulevard or whatever. I'll end up getting another one if they release it again. But if it comes out in RLC or anything like that, I'm just not going for it. I didn't go for the Candy Striper either, which in hindsight I should have probably tried to order one just to, take advantage of maybe a reseller's market. I know some people shun that, but sometimes you got to fund the hobby that way. So there you go. All right, so there's that one. And let's see here. Let's do Matchbox moving parts. Now, these are the basic moving parts releases. So they do not have rubber tires. They're plastic base. I think all the moving parts are plastic base anyhow. This one has plastic tires. These are like, what, $2.50 or something like that, $3 at Walmart. It's a pretty good price point, I think, for these Matchbox cars, and I think they do a good job on them. So here's your pickup truck. Looks pretty good. Hood closes pretty good. So a pretty decent looking release here. Now these don't all have full decos. You're gonna have the side graphics, so there's nothing on the front, there's nothing on the back. So they're basically kind of like a main line with some moving parts. Let's see here. The next one is the Land Rover / Range Rover, whatever. Vogue SE. So here's this one. So again, plastic tires, metal body, plastic base. This one does have the full deco. It's got details actually on every surface, so that's interesting. And the back hatch is actually a plastic piece, if you're not familiar with the casting. They try their best to color match, and it looks okay, but you can definitely tell it's another panel there. Slightly different shade of white. But it looks pretty good. It looks all right. And then the two that I'm excited for, of course, this one, the Chevy Monte Carlo LS. And this is a brand new casting, I believe, from Matchbox. This one's going to have opening doors, or you can tell that, obviously. I like the opening door feature almost more than the opening hood sometimes on the Matchbox particular ones, because they actually do a really good job with the panel lines and stuff like that typically on these doors. And they're metal, too. It's not like they had a plastic piece. So here it is. That's a sick-looking little car. Taillights, license plate, grill, headlights. Headlight graphics look really good. Shut the door, and the door shuts. It's black, so that helps with the panel gap, of course. It being black, you can't see it as much. It does have side mirrors, gray interior. I'd be willing to bet maybe some customizers might be picking these up, throwing some real riders on them. I'd be tempted to wheel swap this thing. Just because everything else is there. You don't really need to do anything else but put some, cool looking wheels on it. I might pick up another one of these just to do that if I see it. I don't know why, it just seems like a good idea. But yeah, happy with that one. I think this is definitely a good pickup if you can find this. And I think it's going to be a desirable one down the road, probably. And the Matchbox moving parts, I mean, they put out quite a bit of them. I think they're pretty easy to come by and get when they're out. But once they're gone, I think they're not going to be super easy. So, again, maybe another, if you're about diecast investing speculation, I think some of them might end up being worth something like this, you know, in particular. And then the Pagani Huayra Roadster, pretty cool, opening rear part to see the engine detail, so I'm excited about this. And it looks like there's quite a bit of detail in there through the package. So let's go ahead and pull that out. Okay, so there it is shut. And that's a really good job shutting it. We get headlights. We get tail detail too, so this one gets a full deco essentially. Decent choice of wheels. And then this kind of pulls up and then out. It doesn't really stay open, but check out the detail in there. I'm sure if you get real close in, it looks a little sloppy, but it is fantastic for the price point. Matchbox just does a great job. They really do. I mean, you just can't argue with it. This opening feature actually works really well. It doesn't really stay open, but the important bit is that it shuts, and it shuts good. So I am stoked about this one. I think this is a really cool one. So I'm a fan of that. All right, what else do we got? We don't have much left. We're going to do Zamacs. Let's do those. You got the Chevy Silverado Trailblast LT. This is the one. It's kind of blah, but I decided to get it since it came across the whole set. Why not? I like the Zamac releases. Not much to talk about here. It's got muddy tires. Okay, is that cool? I don't know. The Beetle. This one looks pretty cool. It's a Valentine's Day car. Originally came out in red, of course, and here it is in Zamac. Kind of a good choice, I think, to add this in Zamac. And it looks pretty good. Red windshield, red rims. I'd say that's pretty cool. But the winner is definitely this one. The Hana Crx. I like the graphics on this one. I like the colors on this one. I like how it looks with the Zamac look. I just think it looks fantastic for a little mainline. So I am a fan of this release. I think this is a really cool looking Hot Wheels release. It kind of looks retro Hot Wheels, and I really like it. So I was glad I was able to find these. These undoubtedly, this is a pretty desirable casting, I would say, and these are probably going to be tough to come by later on, or, you know, maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. I like to speculate, though. And I picked up a bunch of these just because I finally got the opportunity to do that. I haven't really picked up a ton of Hot Wheels, you know, where I bought multiple duplicates, but I did get multiple duplicates of this one just because. And then, of course, I'm splitting them with my buddy Todd if he needs any. And then, you know, there's some other people locally that I will split them with, but pretty cool. Definitely neat. I like that quite a bit. All right. And then, I guess, lastly, what we'll take a look at quick is we got the 69 Copel Camaro, Falcon livery, and the basic one, and then, of course, the ID Chase. So I think this is my first time opening up one of these ID Chases on the channel, or an ID car in general, because I haven't bought any of the other ones either, the ones that come in the boxes. So we get some Spectra Flame action, and it looks pretty good. We get the plastic base with the ID chip in it. And yeah, that's pretty much the only difference, right? So what do you guys think about these ID Chases? And I get it, they're not going to put rubber wheels on these things, and that's because these are really meant to be used with the ID track, right, or whatever. They're a track usable vehicle, and then rubber tires are not good for that. So, yeah. All right, but that's going to be it for this episode. I guess we pick favorites. We always do. I like, of course, this Fighting Irish truck is up there, along with, of course, the Wild Blue. Big fan of that. Love these Matchbox moving parts. I think they're quite awesome. Of course, that guy's cool too. And you know, the Zamac really kind of ticks my boxes. And then, of course, it's always fun to Check another Ultra Red off the list. All right, so pretty good week. All right, thank you guys very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your week. Check out the playlist and stuff. If you're new to the channel, got a ton of videos, so you know, watch them and stuff. You might enjoy them, maybe. So that'd be cool. All right, talk to you later.